Hey, everyone. How are you doing? How is everyone doing today? Wherever you are in this big blue marble, today is Friday, and I'm here in this community. And guess what? I'm here on every Friday. And if I'm not here on a Friday, I'm here on a Saturday because I made a commitment to you guys that I'll be in this community once per week. And here I am. And I got some real cool goods for you today. All right. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? Let's talk retirement. And I remember posting on my page, what if you were to retire tomorrow? What would you do? Or what's going on? People have shown interest. I know that's a very topical issue, especially for maybe baby boomers or the older worker or some folks who might want to talk about retirement, maybe what they need to do, what happens. And it is a scary topic because sometimes we want to just keep working, right? We just want to keep working, and we don't want to just don't want to go home. We just don't. We are afraid of venturing out or even coming home. And what am I gonna do? I'll clean the house, wash the clothes, and all that kind of good stuff. So today we're just gonna talk about retirement a little bit. And I have a cool guest for you, which I'm gonna bring on later on. And in the conversation. But let me see if you're going to be joining me live. Let me know where you're joining from. And if you're going to be watching the replay, let me know where you're watching from because today we're going to bring the goods on retirement. And my special guest is going to be blowing your mind. You might want to get your pen and paper because you might hear something that you might want to jot down, or you might want to call your friend and be like, hey, we got something cool going on over here on Facebook that you might want to hear. If you are a person looking to retire or maybe in retirement or just thinking about it, this is a conversation that you want to participate in. And remember now, you need to give StreamYard permission. So I'll see your comments and I'll be able to maybe answer some of your questions if you have questions. So go ahead and give StreamYard your permission. You should see that at the top of your at the top of the Facebook invite. And remember now, this conversation is being had on my personal page. I am streaming live in YouTube, so it will be there in YouTube for future viewing. But we want to talk about retirement. What's going on in everybody's head that want to come home, that want to spend time with the grandkids, that want to travel, that want to just do what you want to do. How cool is that? So, if we have not met before, my name is Yvette Garel, and I come live in this community once per week, and we talk about all kinds of stuff, inspirational stuff, educational stuff, motivational, personal development, all the 9 yards. And I am a social media coach, and I help people to leverage the power of the social media platforms, take their business online. So I teach strategies, tips, and tools to, home-based business owners, network marketers, direct sales personnel, MLM, anyone who wants to leverage social media. Take their business online. It's a different world out there, my friends. So come on over so you can get some cool tips. And you know what? Follow me at Yvette Garel online. You got some lots of free stuff over there. But today we want to talk retirement. Yes, we want to talk a little bit about retirement. And I have some cool statistics here. I want to read to you. Google is one of my best friends, and it could be your best friend too, because I have three facts here, three facts here that we want to actually talk about. Okay, three facts here that I actually was kind of looking out on the and if you live in the United States of America, this is from the Labor Department. They put out this and they talked about. They said only half of Americans have calculated how much they need to save for retirement. Wow. This is serious stuff, my friends. Only half. How many million people or billion people live in this country? Only half. So this is a topic. This is a conversation that we all need to have. Only half of Americans have calculated how much they need to save for retirement. You might want to write that down and share that with your friend next door, maybe your coworker. Say, hey, have you considered about your retirement? You're not being nosy, but a lot of things we don't talk about. The things we really need to talk about, we don't talk about. And then when we get caught up in them, we're like, I should be talking about that, or maybe I should have taken into consideration. And the next thing I learned today, I mean, as I was reading over the course of the time, as I was thinking about this topic, it says in 2020, my friends, more than quarter of private industry workers with access to a defined contribution plan. For example, the 401k did not participate. 2020. That's how many years ago? This is 2022. It says more than quarter of private industry, meaning that you're not working with the government, you're working with the private sector. We like to talk about corporate America. I am with corporate America. Well, this is what the statistics are saying. They said this is facts. I didn't make it up. Comes from the Department of Labor here in the United States. So if you're listening to me and you live in this country, take note. And you can go, the document is there on the United States Department of Labor website. Okay. In 2020, more than quarter of people who were eligible to participate in for example, the 401k plan, they didn't participate. Then the third thing, and this one is the kicker, it says the average, and this is for the American society, and I mean, we have other countries, you'd have to definitely know what your retirement plan is with whichever department or ministry operates that. The average American spends roughly 20 years in retirement. That's a long time when you leave the workforce to spend in retirement. You know how much stuff you can do in those 20 years? What could happen for you in those 20 years if we live that long? But you know what? We got a plan to live that long because we want to be able to enjoy what we have worked for. So I want you to think about this. This is a serious. I think about it all the time. Even as I am in retirement or pre-retirement or halfway in retirement, wherever you are, even if you're 30, 40, retirement doesn't mean you got to be 67 or 62. Retirement doesn't, the age has nothing to do with it these days. You can retire at a young age, 30, 40, 50, whatever you feel like. You have what it takes to retire. Now, that's where it's at right there. So putting money away for retirement is a good habit to have. Good habit. So whatever you need to participate in, if you're working with corporations or industries and getting your money saved for retirement. Yes, I know it's hard. Yeah, I know it's hard. How am I going to save for retirement? I'm not even making any money. But I'm sure I read something where Warren Buffett said, if you make $1, save something out of it. Yeah. So we know he's a very well-known, what we call him, billionaire, trillionaire, whatever here. But he said, if you make $1, save something out of it. Save a 10 cent. And some of us, we make $1 and we just want to use the dollar. No, you have to practice a habit of saving. So I just wanted to share that with you today. And remember now that saving something for retirement, it does matter because we never know. We never know what might happen when we enter into those golden years. And those are fabulous years, my friends. Fabulous years. Yeah. So start saving. Keep saving and stick to your goals. Okay? Now, I know a few people budgeting. Oh my goodness, you cannot overemphasize that. So you make that dollar, you budget. Take out your savings. Take out your investment, take out the tithes, whatever are your priorities or you go, you break it down. But don't just go spend $1 because maybe somebody's having a sale today and you be like, hey, I got to get over here. I need this $1. Now you have forfeited your savings, your little investment or whatever, how you plan to split it up. So we've got to be disciplined. Now that's the word I want to put behind that. We have got to be disciplined because when we have goals, we have to be disciplined as we'll never reach those goals. We cannot just not have a plan, right? We need to have a plan. Start saving, keep saving, and stick to the goals. All right, now I got a cool guest I will bring out to you, and we're gonna talk. She's gonna share some things with you, share a little her story, and you have an opportunity to put your questions in the comment. And if you don't, you watch a replay. It's gonna be valuable. So I want you to make sure that you are ready for that because you're gonna be like blown away when you hear some things. Now, today on this broadcast, we have our special guest, and I'm gonna bring her out in a moment. She's gonna share with you some things. She's gonna share with you some things. I'm gonna ask her a couple of questions, and we're gonna have a chat. It's like a little fireside chat. You're gonna have a little wake up call now, so you better straighten up in your seats and listen up. Okay. All right. Let me bring her out on stage here. Now, remember, I told you, straighten up in your seat and listen up because today we have on stage, we have Margene, Coach Margene. Welcome, Coach Margene. Welcome
Woohoo!
podcast. I'm
Yay, Yvette.
excited that you're here. I am so thrilled by your story, and I'm sure my audience is going to be so they're going to be at the edge of their seat when they get your story. And we're going to talk today a little bit about retirement. But before we get into all these questions, just share a little bit about you. Let my audience know exactly who you are. Just a little snippet.
Okay, well, I'm a business life coach and I call myself a Facebook strategist. I try to help people build their business on Facebook and stay out of Facebook jail. But I'm a baby boomer,
Yay!
so it's like I'm an accountant. I've got a master's degree in accounting. And back in the day, I started working when I was 18 years old. They didn't have 401ks. They didn't have retirement. They didn't have any protection for the employees in case something happened or if they got old enough to stop working, you had to depend on Social Security. So I personally felt like I was never, ever going to be able to retire because I wouldn't have the income that I needed to stay alive.
Yeah.
And everybody's scaring everybody saying Social Security's dead. It's not going to be there when you retire, so plan ahead. Yeah, with all that fear that they throw out at you, it's like, okay, so what do I do?
Hmm. And Margine, I got it coming right here. There might be folks listening from other countries. Whatever the plan that your country offers you in reference to your retirement, so you can, make sure that you understand what is in there for you and when it's ready for you. Some people have what they call it now, like some insurance. Different countries have different retirement plans for their workers, but you must find out how it works. You must find out what is in there for you at the end of your 60 70 years, however many years you will stay in your job. You need to know that at the end of those years, what are your benefits? People, we talk about the 40-40 plan all the time here. 40 years, 40% for at the 40 whatever it is, the 401k, which is the 40 plan. People talk about that thing all the time. And one day I did a live and I broke it down because people mention it, but are they actually understanding what they're talking about? It's a serious business, my friend. So Margie, all right. So and we're gonna call her Coach Margene, okay? Coach Margene, right? So it's really nice to have you today, and I want to make sure that my audience really is at the edge of their seats and they have their pen and their paper. We want to get some meat on the bone here. So I want you to tell me to talk to us a little bit, at least the steps you took when you decided to retire, because I know you are retired. You're a baby boomer, like a lot of us,
Yeah.
and some of my friends out there. So tell us a little bit, what steps did you take when you when you really really decided that, well, it's time for me to retire now and move on with my life? Go ahead.
Well, it was 2019, and I actually loved what I did. I loved the company I worked for, but I was getting in a position where I was like, it's time. It's time for me to leave. It's time for me to make my own way, make my own life. And I knew that I didn't have enough money set aside for retirement to live on when I did retire. So I went to coaching school and I got certified as a life business coach, and I started my coaching practice in 2019 with the intentions of, when I retire, I'm going to take my business on the road and be a full-time coach, because you can work from anywhere when you're a virtual coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. I gave the company I worked for like a year's notice of when I was leaving.
That's a lot.
And it was like 4 months before I was leaving, and they still hadn't replaced me. And it's like, guess what, guys? I'm going to be out of here in December. Have you got somebody that you're going to use once I'm gone? You know? And so they finally replaced me in July, and I trained that person on Zoom virtually until I left in December of 2020. And I was so excited. I was so happy that I could see this vision of me. I have a 401k, but it doesn't have enough money in it to sustain me. Yes, thank you, Lord, for Social Security because it takes care of me right now. And I was also very fortunate that my father, who is 95 years old,
Wow.
had decided that he wanted to gift us back in 2020 some of the inheritance ahead of time. So
Good.
I was able to pay off my car in 2019. And then with the money my dad gave me in 2020, I was able to pay off my house. So I went into retirement technically debt free.
All
And
right.
that's the key. You
Big.
want to be debt free if at all possible, so that those minimum expenses that you need, you don't need a whole lot of money to live on, so
That's
that you
awesome.
can live a high quality life.
That's awesome right there, Margine. I gotta step in right here because you have shared so much stuff. But I'm gonna tell you, I want you, you are, that's phenomenal right there. And when your father was able to gift you. Now, we know we have a whole lot of folks out there that's watching right now, that's gonna be watching later on, that don't have that safety net. They don't have that safety net. And so they're not going to be able to have an inheritance. So we want to speak a little bit to those persons because not everybody that's getting ready to enter in retirement or thinking about it realize that the ability to go in there debt free is like freedom. And
Yes,
so let's talk a little bit to those persons. As an accountant, you know the numbers, you know how the dollar spends, and you know what it's like when it's gone into overdraft and it's a negative, and you just keep drilling and digging down in the hole. So let's talk a little bit to some of those persons there that really they're loving your story, but they'll be like, I don't have anybody to leave me anything. You want to
hmm.
talk a little bit to those persons? Yeah.
Well, that was just a gift. I mean, my father, the money that my father has is his money, and we keep telling him that. I'm second to the oldest of 10, and it's like, that's your money, Dad. You use it for you. Don't worry about the kids, because everything was like, oh, I got to save it for the kids. And no, that's your money. But we were just very fortunate that he's healthy. He
Hmm.
could live another 5 years, be 100, who knows, and he's got enough money to sustain him. So he felt like he had that extra money to be able to give to us. Now, I only owed $4,000 on my house in 2020. So if I hadn't gotten that gift from him, I had no problem being able to make my house payment until
Right.
it was paid off. And I paid my mortgage off 10 years early because every month I paid $50 more than what my mortgage was, because that takes a huge chunk of money out of your interest rates when you're paying for real estate property.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how fast you can get that down
Yeah.
just by spending an extra $25 a month.
Yeah. And
You
I told
know,
you guys to make sure you got your pen and paper because that's one nugget that
exactly.
Margine is dropping on you to all our mortgage holders out there
That's
that those who are just paying the direct mortgage. Yeah, I know it's hard, but drop on that little $20, drop the little $50. You hear it from the horse's mouth. The
yeah,
difference that that can make. She said she paid her mortgage off 10 years early, guys. Come
yeah.
on, we gotta grab that. That's a
And
great.
I had a 30-year mortgage. I paid it off in 20 years. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Hey, I'm not gonna even say nothing now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you get. I told you you need your pen and your paper and get it to the edge of your seat because we got some cool things to share here. Now, it's really fascinating that many folks, some people will fall in the line of your lineage, Margine, and really experience that. But we want to really speak to the persons who know right now that that's not going to be available for them. What are you
right.
doing? What are you doing to prepare? What are you doing to, um, make sure that you will have something, might not be enough, but at least something that when you have to leave the workforce, you can go home and be peaceful and live a life with some quality to it. So this is a very important conversation here, my friends. So we're going to move on though, because I'm telling you, we can stay here for the entire day because Margine can give you a whole host of stuff. And I'm sure that if you want to find her so she can maybe get a little deeper dive into some of the things that she's doing, I'm sure you'll be. She's on Facebook, so we're gonna share that with you later on. All right, Margina. Now I want you to give this my audience some suggestions as to what me and she and he and the old lady, what we might think about, want to be sure before we retire, what are some of the things that we want to think about or what we want to plan for? I
Yeah,
mean, because for some people, retirement is scary. For others, retirement is just awesome. And for some, they'll be like, I don't even know. But even then, do you have any suggestions, right, as to what one might want to be sure to plan for before they enter this journey? Go ahead.
yeah. The one thing that is, I think a lot of retirees forget about is they've had a life of 20, 30, 40 years of a daily activity every day, a purpose in life, doing their things. And now all of a sudden they've made a decision to just stop doing that. And that's the worst thing that you can do. Before you retire, you want to make sure you have a plan as to what you want to see your future look like.
Yep.
Maybe it's a hobby. Maybe it's a part time job just to stay active. And there's nothing wrong with working part time. There's a lot of seniors out there that are working part time, and people are saying, "Oh, I feel so bad because he's retired and he has to work." They don't necessarily have to work. They do it to stay active and keep their body moving, because I can tell you from experience, when I made that decision to retire, and the last day that I worked for somebody else was December 11th, 2020. I felt so good. I had my plan, I had everything set. And in May of 2021, I ended up with 2 vertebrae fractures. I currently have 5 vertebrae fractures just out of the blue. They came from nowhere, which it just like stopped me dead in my tracks. It was like it destroyed my world. I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. I couldn't care for me. I couldn't clean my house. I couldn't do anything because of the pain. No idea this was going to happen to me. And I had been going to the doctor every year, getting my annual physicals and doing what I needed to do. So where this came from, I have no idea, but it happened. So you want to make sure that you're keeping up with your health. And even after retirement, make sure you're keeping up with your exercising and your healthy eating, and don't become a couch potato. Spend time with those grandchildren, because the young kids, the young people are our lifeblood, and they help you to stay young for sure.
Yes. Very good. Very good. I'm telling you, that is so key, Margine. Because and that what do you call it, the couch potato? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's when I believe people be like, man, I am so tired. I just need to sit down. That's so bad. You have got to keep active. The brain needs to keep active, your body and your mind, your soul. So it's, as long as you have the ability to move and do something, and you might be even in I would say a place where you can physically use your brain, use your hands, use whatever is available to you, but stay active. That is so key. It's so easy to just sit down and be like, you know what? I work my 40 years, I work my 30 years, I'm done. Wrong.
yeah,
No, you
yeah,
have something to give. You have something to offer. You have a voice. You can get on your computer or pick up your telephone and encourage someone, inspire. There's so much out there to do. Pass on the wisdom.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so don't be that coach potato. Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for watching. Um, if you have a question, don't be afraid to put in the comments. Then we'll take questions if you have questions. If we can answer them, we'll answer them, and if we can't, we'll definitely get back with the answer. But yeah, it's so important to plan, because look, you have planned for your retirement. You had everything all set, and you just fell from the top of the ladder. You just fell flat. That was heartbreaking. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was the worst thing that could have ever happened in my life. And talk about despair. And it was like my whole world just stopped.
yeah,
And I think it's very, very important that we remember, because as a worker bee, we don't necessarily have that blended relationship with our spouses or our family members anymore, because we had been busy working and working and working, and now we're around them more often. It can be very emotionally draining. And
yeah,
just remind yourself, if you find yourself feeling like you're overwhelmed with, I don't want to deal, I didn't have to deal with that for 40 years, why do I have to deal with that now? Get yourself a coach. Find yourself a good coach that can help you to break through all of that stuff, because there's nothing better than having that blessed, wonderful conversation with a family member, with a very close friend, with someone that is special to you, to help you become a better you.
yeah,
And always, always be working on being a better you,
exactly.
whatever it takes to just accept others as they are. Live a life of love, unconditional love, no judgment, and grace, and just keep building good vibrations around the people that you are connected to.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Margine. That is so key again, because, we all live busy lives. My goodness, whether it's a job, whether it's the children, whether it's the grandkids, whether it's a farm we got to go to, whether it's whatever we have out there, some side gig business. Yeah, we get so busy, and we lose contact with the person we live with. It's, and so the relationship will shift.
Yes.
And that's another problem. Again, you got to work on that. So, it's like, this is life, my friends. This is life. It has a lot of roads, a lot of tunnels, a lot of avenues, but we have got to walk all of them
Yeah.
at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And so it is so important, especially Margin said that really great, because if you'll be running to the job, you cannot afford to work because you need the money to pay your bills, but something else is missing. So you've got to balance. Now, work life, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
Work life balance. because that takes on the home, that takes on the job, and that even takes on you as an individual. All up in the middle of this because you carry the weight, you carry the load, whether you're the male or the female. Now, we're not just talking to females here. We know we got males out there who are doing it just like us.
Yeah.
But whatever species, whatever sex, we just one person we're talking to now, just people, it is a matter of consideration. If you live, whether you live with parents, grandparents, siblings, it doesn't matter, a spouse or your own child, it doesn't matter. Everything that one person does in that unit affects the other person.
Yeah.
And I don't know how sometimes I can get that across to if if you live with your husband and your kids or your grandma or your mama in the same household, everything that you one person does affect the other person. Might not, it doesn't have to be physical, it could be mental, but you live, it affects, it shifts something,
Yeah.
something changes, and we have to be very careful. All right, but this is good, right? I hope you guys are enjoying what you're hearing out there. Remember, if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I got to remind you that this is going to be posted on my YouTube channel, and this is going to be here on my personal profile. And we are here talking with Margene, Coach Margene, and our topic today is let's talk retirement. We're looking at some things that we really need to get in place for retirement, and she's sharing her personal experiences. And I know many persons out there could be sharing their personal experience because everybody walks a different journey. Regardless of the journey, we know we don't work forever. We never stay in the workforce. At some point in time, we're going to get our little butts up and we're going to find our yard, go home. It's time to go home, enjoy yourself, have some good rest, enjoy your family, have some peace of mind, spend the money that you made all this time, go travel, go take the children on a cruise, go visit the family member you haven't seen for years, go reconnect, all that. So we're here talking with Margina, and she's just sharing some real cool nuggets. And if you're still at the edge of your seat, remain there because she's going to tell you now she's going to, well, encourage you how important it is for you to have the right mindset. Wow. I'm telling you, Margie, we're going to come back and talk about mindset. How to have the right mindset for retirement.
Yeah.
Mm, that's a powerful one. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said previously, I loved what I was doing and I loved the company I worked for, and I could not see me not doing anything else. But there just becomes a point in your life when it's just time. You just know, you could feel it's just time to do something for self and to make sure that you have everything in place so when that time comes, you won't have a hard time making that decision and it'll be a smooth transition from moving from that company into your own personal life, that now you have a new job working the new life that you have and being open minded about it and looking through it through fresh eyes and not trying to look through it through the lens of the past. And forgiveness, carrying forgiveness with you of anything that may have transpired over the years in a family relationship. Because the only person you ever hurt because you don't forgive is yourself. You don't hurt the other person because you don't forgive them. You hurt yourself. So it's very important that you stay on top of it. And even for me, when I was going through this devastation of this disease that hit me in May of last year, I had months when I felt like getting in my car and driving off a bridge. It's like, this has got to end. And I had to reach out to family members. I had to reach out to coaches and people that I knew could help me, give me that inspiration to stand strong for me so that I could stand strong for other people as well. Because if I can't coach myself and take care of myself, how can I help anybody else?
Right. And the mindset thing is so important. Doesn't take 10 minutes, 50. It takes just a split second for you to just make us to just snap. This mindset thing, whether you in retirement, you're going trying to get out of the job to retire wherever as a matter of fact, it doesn't even have everything to do with retirement. You got everything to do with just your mind. Everyone, the mindset issue, because I'm telling you, this minute you might find yourself, it's everything is all good. Oh yeah, I'm good, and split second that changed, and now shift. You got to think, you got to act, you got to do, and you don't have time.
Yeah.
It's like you're driving down the road and you see this accident, you see this thing coming head on, and you be like, okay, well, I don't have anywhere to go. I might as well just hold onto my steering and just brace myself because it's coming at me. I can't go to the right. I can't go to the left. This thing's going there. So what am I going to do? So now mindset is so powerful. Hi, Gracie. How are you? The mindset. So we got to be prepared, not only the money, not only the physical body, but the mental, the psyche part about the psychological aspect, the impact that has on you as an individual, or had on you when you went through your devastating, mysterious adventure that came upon you, because now you're ready for retirement. You knew what you wanted to do, you planned for it, you saved the money, you got gifts from your parents, settle your accounts. Now you're debt free and you just ready to rock and roll, and something just like bam,
Yeah.
just like somebody just pulled the rug from underneath your feet. And now, you know what? Why am I living? I might as well go. And you had to get some help. And
Yeah.
that is so, so important. That's another nugget right there. Do not sit down and die in your stress, you
Yeah.
know, or
Yeah.
in situations will come upon you. Reach out and get help, because it is so easy for when situation comes up, we crawl behind the door, we go in the bed, we cover up our heads, and we don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
We don't want to see nobody. We don't want to eat. We don't want to shower. We just like dying like slowly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is ridiculous, but it is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is easy.
Yeah.
It doesn't take what is it, take a rocket scientist, and it can happen just like this, just like
Yeah.
Margine just shared with us. So we're having this conversation here today, and it's all um factored around getting ready to retire, or in retirement, or just hoping and praying that your retirement years, you're getting close, and then you can't wait to go home. You can't wait to go, live your life like you want to live it, because the job just have you hostage and all that good stuff. But the job pays the bills. Don't forget, the job makes the money. And so if you didn't have a little side hustle that you can wrap back on, or is maybe you want to think about, what am I going to do now? I may have this money, and what am I going to do? There are you can reach out. There's so many investment opportunities out there. You check with these companies that offer investment portfolios, but you've got to put the money to work. You cannot
Yeah.
sit down and look at the money. It's all about money. Needs to be, it's a tool, put it to work. So so it's a lot of stuff to think about, whether you have the money or whether you don't have the money. At some point in time, you got to walk away from that job,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
your body, as Margine says, is going to tell you something different. It's
Yeah.
time to go home. You
Yeah.
just can't do it anymore.
For sure. Yeah, Yvette, you're right on, girl. And I love this story of this therapist who was working with this man and his wife, and the man decided to retire, and they decided to move into a different neighborhood, and his wife was on board with it. Yeah, that sounds really good. That might be a nice neighborhood to live in. And his client came in one day, and he said that he's really having a hard time with his wife because she just seems so unhappy. She was so happy to move into this neighborhood. She seemed to really enjoy it. And when I asked her about it, and asked her, I said, what's going on? Why are you so unhappy? She said, well, nobody comes to see me. Nobody came to knock on my door to introduce themselves. They don't like me. Nobody in this neighborhood likes me. And the therapist asked the young man, he says, well, did your wife go and introduce herself to the neighbors? Did your wife go and let them know that she would love to have coffee or tea or connect with them? And he says, well, no. And he said, well, you can't expect people to know what you need if you don't tell them. And I learned that lesson through this process of my illness because I had to have help. I had to have someone come in and clean my house and stuff for me. And I knew I couldn't get my daughter to do it because her husband was in the he was on a transplant list for a kidney. So she was working with that and dealing with that. So I knew there was no way that she was going to be able to break away from her family to come up here and help me. And I finally just sent her a message and I said, look, I said, if there's any way, because her husband finally stopped working because he wasn't well enough to work, but he was physically able to take care of the children. And I said, maybe if you can get your husband to watch the children for a day, you could come up here and see what's going on here. So you know exactly what's going on, because I don't think she had any idea what was happening to me. And she did. She came up here, she spent the day with me, and she cleaned my bedroom, and she vacuumed, and she mopped my floors, and she cleaned my bathroom, and she got things ready and organized for me. And then she sent out the notices to all these people that were in my life that I had affected over the years. And they came, they mowed my lawn. They would come like once a month and do different things around the house and help me when I needed the help. So you have to let people know where you're at, and it's okay to be where you're at, and it's okay to have help.
Yeah. And you know something, if you didn't grab those nuggets, let me repeat them for you. It's okay to be where you're at. Give yourself some grace and embrace
Yeah,
it. And it's okay to ask for help.
yeah,
It's not okay to sit down in your little demise and be like, woe is me, and
yeah,
the world is going to come to an end. And I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Gracie, for upping on. Thank you, McCollum at night. Thank you, Michelle, for joining in the conversation. It is okay to know that, you know what? This is where I am at, and this is what it is, and deal with it. But it's not easy. It's not easy when you know you're on your A game and now you're on your Z game. It's not easy because it's a long shift. It didn't, and it happens in a split second. So those are some of the things that, as we think about leaving the workforce to retire and come home, and remember, we said retirement has nothing to do with age.
yeah,
It has all to do with your money. If you have
yeah,
enough money and you think you can support yourself and support your endeavors, you can retire. It has nothing to do with age. You know, when I was growing up, when I was growing as a younger girl, I always, we were surrounded by, all this, you got to work enough money, you got to put it away because when you retire, and so we were kind of brainwashed in this thing that, oh, you got to work all these years. You got to work till you're 60. What is it, 62? You got to save your money because that's when you could leave the workforce. That has changed, my friend. So put that down in your book as well. Doesn't have to be. You can retire if you have the money to maintain and sustain yourself. Yeah, you can retire. You don't have to wait until you're 60. For Social Security, if you live in the United States, that's different. There's an age for that. But in reference to retirement, if you make and you feel like you can this, you have set up your investors. So it's good to save, have investment, set up your portfolios, and have things straight. And you don't have to wait until 30, 40 years down the road. Start now. If you didn't start yet, it's not too
yeah,
late to say, okay, let's look at my money. People don't like to talk about money. We better have that conversation as well. Talk about your money. Look at what you have. Look at your portfolio. Look at your savings. What do you have? Did you put this aside? You might want to stop buying some things because you really don't need it. You
mhm,
just want it. Think about your habits. And so, because when you leave that job or when the job says, Yvette, We don't need you anymore. You're da 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 da. You pull down your little 401k, as in the United States or in other countries, what your retirement plan. You get your money and you come and you look at that. Is that all? You let me give you a story. Retirement, or let me just put in this, what do we call it? PSA. Retirement doesn't mean you don't have to pay bills. Margie,
Seriously? Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
Margie was lucky. Margie was fortunate that she had a gift from her dad.
Yeah,
Many of us don't have that have that ability. We don't have. Some of us, our parents are gone long time ago, like myself. Whatever they left, maybe they left assets, but they didn't leave a disposable income. That's different. So they left. If daddy had give a Margine a piece of land or acre of land, then she would have to decide, do I want to sell that to take the money to pay for that, or do I want to keep that? So that's a different conversation.
yeah,
It's a lot of conversation we have to have around this. But I'm telling you, you retire, you have to pay your bills. So Margine said when she retired, she was debt free. Now that's key.
yeah.
All of us won't enjoy that. Some of us are coming home with the car note, the mortgage, the child, what do they call it, children, child,
College education.
yeah, a college,
Yeah, credit cards. Yeah,
child maintenance. You got to pay for that child out there. He's not 18 yet, but you retire, whatever the case is. And so we have got to look. Each of us must take response. This is a personal responsibility. Child support. Thank you, Gracie.
yeah,
Child support. Each of us must take this serious. It's not if I, it's, yes, you might be married and you're living with your spouse. Hey, you're working, your spouse is working. You can combine make your decision, as well as you might want to do some things and spouse don't want to do that. So it's a lot of conversation. And these are some serious stuff. Because when you see people are of age and they live together for a long time and they've been married for so many years, and then you hear that they divorce.
mm,
That everything was going good, and now they're retiring home and hell broke loose. One's gone this way, one's gone that way. And it could be younger or whatever it is. It could be for all kinds of reasons. And it doesn't have to be divorce. It could be separated. They could be just quarreling or problems or all kinds of stuff. Now you have money problem because this person's short, don't have enough money, and so it's a lot of conversations, my friend. This retirement thing is not chicken. Don't take it lightly.
yeah,
We're just here today to share just snippets. And Margine is just here today to share her experience with you guys. I am so happy that she has reached out to me and said, I'll do it, because I was looking to, when I posted this thing online and said, if you were, if you would retire, something about tomorrow, what would you do? This is a conversation to be had, my friends. And if you're not having that conversation, even with yourself, it's time to start.
yeah,
Remember, I read some statistics, and this is just for the United States. And they say the average American spends roughly 20 years in retirement. Now, you have money to suffice you for 20 years. You might want to go check up on your portfolio. Some of you that are watching, right? Because I know some of you are getting ready and you'll be like, man, I'm getting tired of this job. It's wearing me out. My feet are hurting. This is happening, and all that good stuff. And think about your expenses. You have to take that into consideration. When I retire, what will be my expenses? Yeah. So remember, if you're not saving, I'm gonna tell you, Warren Buffett says, if you make $1, save something out of it. If it doesn't matter if you make 10 cents, save a penny. It's called compound. Tell them, Marge,
yeah,
compound.
yeah,
And it builds up an interest. So save the penny, drop that penny in that jar every day. Save some money, because you don't have to buy the ice cream all the time. You don't have to buy, we have got to have that discipline. And
yeah,
that's something that we need to create that habit and
yeah.
do that. All right,
Yeah,
Martin, I know that we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. That's what I planned for this because I know we have a lot of information to share, but
yeah,
wanted to make sure that if we have any questions, let me check here that people could ask. I didn't see any questions. I just see people commenting. Yes, they're saying that this is a great conversation. They're enjoying it.
yeah,
Um,
Yvette. And you don't have to work for somebody to have money to be put away for a 401k, because you can have an IRA. You can set up an IRA and put part of your money that you make, when you get your check from your employer, have so much of it go into that IRA to be
mhm.
stored up for you for your future. And it's a tax deductible deduction, on your taxes too. So it helps you on that end as well. So
Yeah,
you don't have to work for a company that provides a 401k.
right.
And I really was blown away by this statistic about only a quarter of the workers
Yeah, it,
that work for the private industry
mhm,
participate in a plan.
right.
To be honest, I didn't think it was that high. I didn't think
Mm,
that it was that high, that there were only 25% of them don't participate. That means 75% do participate.
right.
So that's incredible. So maybe that statistic is off, because that other quarter might have their own
Yeah,
personal IRA, or they might have one that they're investing money with their wife or their spouse.
right.
So
Yeah.
but you know if you're 35 or 40 years old and you're not putting money away for retirement, what's
Mm,
holding you back? Because for me, I didn't have that opportunity. It was 1995 before I ever worked for a company that offered a retirement program.
right.
Now, back then, I'm not sure that there were any IRA programs at all back then. There could have been, I don't know. So, 1995 to 2020, how many years is that? That's how many years I was able to put money away for my retirement.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
I know I was talking to this young lady one day and she said you and we were talking about money and budgeting your money is so key.
oh yeah,
Budgeting your money, and that's another conversation I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you, because a lot of people don't budget. And this is what she said to me. She's a young she's in her 30s, and she said, I know how much my paycheck is gonna be. And thank you for hopping on, Lorraine, and she's agreeing with what we're saying. And she said, I budget, that goes in my investment, that goes in my savings, that goes for my car note, that goes for my coming down the line, that's for entertainment, and that's for food and everything. And she said, well, if when I buy the food and the children eat the food off, then guess what? If there's anything in their entertainment fund, we might take something out of that.
yeah,
Outside of that,
yeah,
they know
yeah,
no more food.
yeah,
We're going to the store. We got to figure out something. And so she holds that dear to her heart.
yeah, yeah,
Budget her money, and she is doing phenomenal.
yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
one tip that you can do as well is set up your bank account. If you have your payroll deposited directly into your bank account,
Yeah.
have it. I have like a bank account that's got three accounts in it, and when the money comes into that bank account, I have so much of that money going into a different account that pays for example, when I was making a car payment, it took care of my car payment. So the bank account that I live off from, I see the money there. I don't miss the money that went into that account for the car payment, and the car payment's being made. So
Yeah.
if you don't see it, you don't miss it, and then you don't want to spend it
Right.
because you don't know it's there.
Write that
It
down,
it
people.
works really, really good.
Yeah, that's so key because you know how it is, man. Got the money, I got to go shopping. I got the money, I got to go there. So, all this conversation and more we have to have, but we are coming up on the 1 hour mark. And I'm so happy for those of you who have opted on. And I know that we're going to have more comments in the replay, but I'm telling you, this is a conversation to be had, my friends. And you know something? Nowadays, more people are becoming aware that they need extra money. And so they start that little side hustle very early in their career and they gradually build it up. And even if they start late, that's something that they can use to supplement their income because a lot of persons, the one paycheck won't cut it. The two
Yeah.
jobs, the three jobs, and they gotta run, they gotta hustle because the children gotta go to school, you gotta this, da da da, single parents. So we know how everybody's gonna have a different scenario.
Yeah.
So there's no one size that fits all here. Everybody is going to have a different scenario. So look at your scenario. Don't look at your neighbors or your friends. Look at your situation and assess that situation. Analyze that situation because at the end of the day, when you have to retire and come home, you don't know if you're gonna fall ill. You're gonna know if you're gonna your health is gonna fail, whatever is gonna happen. So we gotta plan for that.
Yeah.
Analyze, evaluate your situation so
Yeah.
you can get yourself ready for with the eventualities that come and the unknown as well. Because if it catches you by surprise, oh well, that's gonna be it. We need people. We have good friends. We have family members. Never rule out anything because I don't know if anyone has ever been to a retirement home
Mm.
to meet with those elderly folks, to
Yeah.
listen when they give you some wisdom. You hear me? When
Yeah.
they talk and I'm telling you that's all wisdom right up in there. And they highlight you thank you for hopping on. And they tell you there's some stories. They got stories and stories and stories. And they're there. They might be in a wheelchair, maybe pushing a walker. And some of them are happy with themselves. Some are not so happy
Mm.
because they're thinking about the grandchildren and the this and the that. Didn't the money didn't stretch that far. Now they're in a home or at home being cared for by family member, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. But we all will get to that place one day. So embrace that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I gotta say it. We're gonna get old one day. We ain't
Yeah.
going to be 16 for the rest of our lives. So
Yeah.
hey, grab that and hold on to it and think about what quality of life do I want to have when I get to a certain age? How will I mean, if we maintain in good health, so you got to build that up too, the health piece. You can't sit back, don't feed your body right, don't
Yeah.
eat, do the exercise, don't get up off the couch, don't be no couch potato, right? And expect to this, oh yeah, I'm fine, I sit here, watch television all day, I eat, I put the thing there. No, quality of life, my friends. We have got to think about those things. What happened if we can't move? What happened if we need help all day long? Margina to get their daughter to come down and actually see what I'm going through here. Help me out. You know, we know we still have to foster those relationships. That's another story again. So
Yeah.
the bitterness and all that, when you sit on your behind one place over there and you need help. So we've got to think about our relationships with our family member, with just people in general. So there's a lot of work to be done. It's not like one thing. It's not all about the money. It's about the relationships that we have built, the connections that we have had with people, and how we're gonna move around. Maybe you won't be able to drive. See, Margine bought her RV to go and do her business on the road. She fell ill. She had to sell that RV.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
had to sell it. And she now has to be at home getting well so she can do her dream. Oh, we got to go into that too because when you have a dream and you
Yeah.
have a vision, it's a lot of work. So, my friends, I want you to know that Margine um, has blessed us today. And before we go on the hour, we just want to thank Margine. But I want Margine to share with you guys if you feel like you need this kind of coaching and connectivity and maybe some more getting Margine's work, some more, maybe there's something she can help you with, share with them, Margine, how they can find you.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably come onto your profile and drop my. I have a business page where I have a lot of mindset training
Mhm.
video trainings on it. But I also offer a free discovery call that you can book, and we can chat for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or whatever to see what you might need help with. And I usually try to help you with one thing on that call. And then if you decide that you want to move forward, that's another topic to be discussed.
Mhm.
And I have a monthly coachathon that if you've never experienced a coach before and you just want to come and hang out, watch us in action. I do some laser coaching if you need to have some laser coaching or feel brave enough to ask for the help on a group coaching session, or just come and hang out and see what happens so that you can have that opportunity to get that experience. And I can drop that link in the comments under
And
Yvette's
when the video
post
is posted.
too, for you to be able to register for that event. It happens the first Tuesday of every month at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. And anyone is welcome. All you have to do is register and have the Zoom link to be there. I'd
Okay.
be love to have you there.
All right. Well, you got it, my friends. And thank you so much, Marcia, for commenting. Marcia says life is unpredictable. Preparation is important. Absolutely. And that just want to share with you guys that I'm here in this community every Friday at around 5 o'clock or some, but I've made a commitment to be here, and we share anything educational, informational, inspiration, and just about any topic that I feel led, or something that someone has requested and wants to have more information on. I'll share, but I've made a commitment to be here, and so we're here, and I'm so happy to have brought this topic. I'm sure I'll try to get from another angle, maybe some more the financial advisors, expert, that kind of way in here one day, to shed some light, because this is a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about,
Yeah.
but it should be spoken about, and it doesn't have anything to do with age. So next time we have something to talk about like this, grab your 20-year-old, your college student, whatever. Everybody needs to be able to understand that this is something that will happen, and to get ready for it. All right. So remember now, here, this is my personal page, and as I said, this is conversation is streamed live into my YouTube channel, Yvette Garel. So at some point in time, you can go over there, and if you need to listen to this again, and you can grab it and you can share it with your friends, and you can like it, or view it, whatever you need to do over there. But this will be in my personal profile until it disappears off Facebook down the road. But I want to share with you that next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will be having mastermind over on my business page, Yvette Garel Online. Mastermind sessions, 3 days,
Mm.
Yvette Garel Online on attraction marketing.
Ooh.
Because here in on social media, we do attraction marketing in our business opportunity here online. I want to share with the viewers how attraction marketing work and what's so unique about that, and share my journey as I got into that space. Now I'm here on social media, helping people to leverage the power and to take their business online. And it's sustainable. Talk about automation and systems and all kinds of cool stuff. So we are here. We try to mix it up, my friend. We want to make everybody get something out of the conversation. So over there on my business page, and you all are welcome to join me. It's gonna be maybe you're not gonna. Some of you are not gonna probably be at work. Don't steal. Stay on the job. It's gonna be at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I'll definitely put the link how you can catch me over there on Facebook, Yvette Garel Online. And another shout out, we are in the clubhouse every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone. And there we give free tips, strategies, and tools how to network or how to improve in your network marketing business, You see, the online space is a little different from the face to face and the brick and mortar space. So we
Mm.
give away a lot of free information right there. We have great discussion. Other entrepreneurs are in the room. So come on over there and join us. And we could sit here and talk all day long. Now we just missed the hour. So grateful to have you, Margine. So thankful that you really offered to come here and to share with us your journey, how you got into what you did to enter into retirement, what happened while you were entering and while you're still in retirement, and your hopes and your dreams, and how it can just keep crashing down, and how things can blossom or just die in you. So preparedness, that's the word I want to leave you with.
Yeah.
Be prepared. We
Yeah.
have to be prepared, and whatever your preparation is, it doesn't matter. Just be prepared. Think about it. Have a talk with your family, your spouse. Don't shy away, because I know, yep, it's a fearful topic. You're going to be like, but remember now, the youth will go away, and we have to enter into that phase someday. Want to thank you guys for watching. I'll be back here next Friday, same around the same time. What the topic's gonna be, I don't know yet. It's gonna be something interesting, but I'll definitely bring the goods to you. So, Margina, I want to thank you again for hopping on here with me, and I'm sure that the viewers have had some great tips, some great information, and I'm sure that when we post a link, they're gonna be reaching out. So, thank you again. Guys, I want to thank you for watching, and come back and join us in this on this page next week here, where you can get some more cool tips. We don't know what, but it's gonna be good. All right. I'd love
Thank,
to sit here for
thank
another
you, Yvette. It's
hour.
been fun. Thank you so much. It's
Thank
been
you,
lots
thank
of fun.
you. And thank you so much, Lorraine, Marcy, Elijah, Grace, Claudette. Thank you guys for watching. Michelle, thank you so much for hopping on. And we see you soon. Take care of yourself, and as always, be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Love you
Bye.
guys.